Okay, I'm going to make a short video going over this matchup between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, the third time they're going to fight in the octagon. To me, even though it's the third time, this fight is super intriguing and very tricky to predict because of many different things that I'm going to go over in today's video. This fight is taking place like a month from now, sometime in July, I believe, and I still think it's very hype, even though it is a trilogy where Dustin Poirier won the first two. It isn't what I probably would have done for either fighter, but it's still interesting. And predicting it is actually kind of hard. So I'm going to try to explain my process, a thought process in this video. I'm going to start with the first two fights. Dustin Poirier won the first one pretty handedly, very long time ago. I'm not really going to go super far into depth into that fight. But the second fight was like 4 years ago. It was 5 years ago. 5 years and 2 months. Dustin Poirier won 4 rounds to 1 against Holloway in a competitive fight where Dustin Poirier showed his boxing is very, very good. And Holloway hung in there, but definitely got outstruck in this matchup and outgrappled to a degree. Poirier had to resort to his grappling a little bit too much in this fight. They both had their moments. Holloway had dominated the first round, rocked the fuck out of Holloway, almost finished him, made it clear for himself. The second, third, fourth, and fifth were all close with Dustin Poirier kind of getting the edge. Actually, I forget which round. It was either the second or third, but Holloway clearly won that round. Rocked Poirier even. But the theme of the fight was that Poirier was putting it on Holloway, was doing a little bit more every round, was grappling when he needed to, and was landing the more powerful, stinging shots. What I don't like about the second fight is that Holloway was a featherweight, moving up to lightweight for one single fight, and it was shorter notice than I would have liked, and that I'm sure Holloway would have liked. He didn't bulk up the way he should have into lightweight in order to retain his strength and actually be a lightweight in there. He was kind of skinny fat. He didn't look strong in there. He didn't look like he had a lightweight frame. He looked like he had his featherweight frame with a couple extra pounds of fat. Holloway against Gaethje, he looked like a lightweight. He looked big. He looked faster, much faster than the fight with Poirier. He looked focused. He looked in his prime. 4 years later, I'd say Holloway's definitely in his prime now. He's 33 years old. Poirier's 36. We'll get more into that, how I think that's going to play in a second. But Holloway, he's a lightweight now. He's been in the division for like years now. He's a lightweight. He's accustomed to this weight class. He's put on muscle. He's had time to compensate for the new weight added on. He made Gaethje look easy. He pieced him apart and finished him. I think that's a different Holloway than the one that fought Poirier in the second fight. And I think Poirier is a different Poirier than he is when he fought Holloway for the second time. Poirier is now 5 years older. He was in his prime when he fought Holloway for the second time. He is now 36. He's weathered. He's been chinned. He's taken a lot of damage in every single one of his fights since then. He's taken a ton of damage. I really don't like that for Poirier. He's taken a ton of damage. He's weathered. He's old. His hips are failing him. He still has his skill. He still has his chin to a degree, but I'm not going to trust it as much as I did before. Holloway landed very well in that fight. With that being said, Holloway has just been chinned in his most recent fight against Ilia Topuria. That is very important to note. This fight, this trilogy, I don't think is going to decision. I think this is going to be a finish for one of them. I'm not sure which just yet, because Poirier's chin's definitely gotten worse. I feel like Holloway's gotten better at fighting. I feel like Poirier is now out of his prime. I think he's going to get, as he drops in skill and athletic ability, I think Holloway's pretty much meta. I think they're as equal as they're going to be right now, considering Poirier beat him the first 2 times. I think Holloway's going to be a lot more prepared for this fight. I think he's going to actually have the weight that he needs in muscle and not just flab. He's going to be a little bit more nervous in this fight because he got chinned. I think that might help him not get into firefights in the first couple rounds. I think he might be able to tit for tat. It's hard with Poirier because he's such a good fucking striker and he finds his mark. This fight is extremely hard to predict. I'm leaning Poirier a little bit right now, maybe. It really depends, for me at least, on whether or not Topuria finishes Oliveira in a similar way that he did Poirier, or that he did Holloway. Because to me, Poirier's chin has always been phenomenal. It's always been amazing. He's never been chinned. Even in the second Poirier fight, he took a lot of shots and he stayed in there. Poirier took his chin away. He knocked him out bad. Is his chin going to be there for this fight? It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say if it was just Poirier being extremely good is why Holloway got chinned, or is his chin finally taking enough damage in that it's finally gone? That's hard to say. And to be honest, I think that's what's going to come down to my prediction of this fight. I think it's going to come down to what Topuria does to Oliveira in 2 weeks from now. I think that's what I'm going to base my pick off of, to be honest. If Topuria starches Oliveira in the first round, easily, clean, starches him like I think he's going to, I'm probably going to pick Holloway to win. I'm going to trust in his chin that it was just Topuria's power and his skill that cracked it and was able to crack it. But if Topuria gets to a fifth round decision or even loses or loses convincingly by finish or something, I might lean Poirier to crack Holloway's chin and do a similar thing he did in the second fight, but actually finish Holloway. So for me, this matchup comes down to Topuria's performance, which is a little odd, and I understand that, but I really think it does. Because to me, Holloway at lightweight is pretty much perfect. At least that's how it seemed in the Gaethje fight. Against these old guys that like to strike, he's pretty nice. I like the way Holloway looked in his Gaethje fight. I really liked it. Poirier's older, more weathered. He's not going to be the same. I feel like they're going to meet in the middle a lot more, skill-wise, prepared-wise. I'm giving the edge to Max a little bit. But if Poirier gets smoked, I think Poirier is probably going to chin him. So to me, this comes down to Poirier, which is a weird way to predict a fight, but I really think it does because I really think it makes sense because Topuria was able to knock Holloway out cold. If he can't knock out Oliveira, then Holloway's cooked. His chin's cooked. I'm picking Poirier to win. If he starches Oliveira out cold, it's just Topuria. Holloway will be able to weather the storm of Poirier at his age now better than he did in the second fight 5 years ago, in my opinion at least. So I would probably go with Holloway. It's very interesting to see. Or I'd probably go with... Yeah, I'd probably go with Holloway. So yeah, those are my thoughts about that fight. It's very intriguing. I'm actually excited for it. It's going to be super fun like the second one was, I'm sure. And I'm leaning Holloway right now. I'm not going to lie. It's the reason I picked him versus the Gaethje fight. I'm not fully convinced a prepared Holloway is going to get destroyed by Poirier, especially at this point in Poirier's career. But for me, it all comes down to Poirier's performance against Oliveira. So, let me know what you think about that take. Little rant for you guys to chew on, I suppose. And I will see you soon.